Hello, everyone. Welcome to Recalling the Adventure, where we take our entrepreneurs back to where they began and recall how their adventure got started. Today, we have with us the founder of Clothesbox Foundation, Sajan Veerr Abrol. He completed his education in India and worked at SoftBank and American Express, and was still working while he launched his nonprofit organization, Clothesbox Foundation, in 2014. Hi, thank you so much for being a part of this. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
So just to get started, could you please describe what Clothesbox Foundation is in just 3 words?
In just 3 words,
Yes.
it's a lot of love, compassion, and people.
Okay, yeah. So he sums it up. But in terms of what Clothesbox Foundation is, it is a nonprofit that was started with the aim to redistribute and recycle fabric that is no longer used by the owners, but can mean the world to someone who is actually in need. Yeah, is there something that I missed out that you would want to elaborate more about in what your organization stands for?
In our terms, we empower the underprivileged with basic necessities and
Okay.
market-led sustainable livelihood programs that promote sustainable consumption. And we work across 24 states of India. And we are a social impact organization that has helped over a million people till now.
That's incredible. And as you mentioned that it currently helps in 24 states of India. How was the transition? Because I believe that you started in Gurgaon. So how was the transition from Gurgaon to the entire of India, or at least 24 states? And how does the distribution process work?
So we started off really small scale. We did not expect that. Um, so when you're young and when you're starting off, I was right out of college. You don't know what scale is. You don't know
Yeah.
how you'd be able to reach out to more states. How do you sort of expand your organization? And as we started working, we started with our own wardrobes, and uh, we started covering Gurgaon. Then we covered Delhi. We called up a few friends here and there when we were all still in college. People were in their final years, or people were just started to work. So we called them up. Somebody probably in Bangalore, in Mumbai, in Hyderabad, in Punjab, and we said that, see, listen, this is what we started. We've already done a pilot here in Gurgaon for 2 weeks, and this is what we want you to do. So we used Facebook as a medium, and this was when Facebook was very organic, and we could reach out to more people without doing ads and stuff. And that's how it started. And from there, it was all word of mouth, and people liked the idea. And then, of course, internet is a very powerful medium.
Yes, definitely. In terms of your efforts, they've always been appreciated globally with making a mark in like the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia list, receiving the national award from the government of India, being on multiple TV shows, appreciation from the Indian Army, even being notable, like having Mr. Amitabh Bachchan part of your distributions and being mentioned by Mark Zuckerberg. How does that feel? And like, what are the challenges you faced before it all started falling into place?
I think we got our first recognition when we got our Facebook page blue tick. So we thought we
Yeah,
felt
the
some
verified.
special. That happened after Mr. Amitabh Bachchan came for a distribution drive, and then all good things started happening to us. I guess people liked the idea, and people sort of believed in us, and a lot of companies started joining in. The Mark Zuckerberg incident happened. We did not know that he's going to write about us. Um, One day we just called to a community gathering for organized by Facebook here in Delhi, and the whole clothes box group goes and we meet other people, and the organizer of the event in the evening called us up and said, oh no, the previous evening said, wear a white shirt, both of you, you and Naman. And we thought it's probably because they just want to identify groups. And the next day, uh, in the evening after the event, he said that you are, just check your Facebook account after a while. And at 9:30, we are told uh, that Mark Zuckerberg has written about you.
Wow. That must be
Yeah.
surreal to
So
a certain point, but I'm sure, like full of excitement.
I mean, थोड़ी देर बाहर wait कर ले, थोड़ी देर बाहर wait कर ले. Sorry.
That's fine. I'm just saying that it must be like it must be surreal at some point, but like really exciting at the same. Like
Yes.
to have that
No.
kind of.
Yeah, of course. When you're young and you putting your heart and soul into an organization, and this was the time when the word startup had, just come, and everybody wants to be recognized. Whether you're small or big or
Yeah.
whatever your scale at. So we, I mean, all friends and family, everybody congratulating us. But this came along with the thought that yes, I think now this is not the end game. There's a lot more to do. Your idea has the capability. So, and then Forbes happened in 2019, and me and my co-founder, we were in Bangalore, and at 4 a.m. We were in the same room, and he woke me up and said, see, we had a good time filling the application, and we never thought we'd be able to make it. So me and my co-founder, we just made sure that we are very candid in the whole process, in the application process, and we just wanted to enjoy and write whatever the sort of things, the fun things that we've done, how we've accomplished everything from scratch. People who've never had an experience of working in a non-profit or a industry which is related to fabric or textile, and they've got into recycling and upcycling. So he woke me up at 4 in the morning and he said, look, we've made it to the list. And I think that was one of the biggest achievements, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, no,
More than
100%. That's
probably more than Mark Zuckerberg writing about us. Forbes was something I was really looking forward to, and so was
yeah.
the national.
Okay, that's actually that's truly incredible. But in terms of like just like clothes and donating clothes and helping the poor, shouldn't that entire like concept just be intuitive to like the most number of people? So I was just wondering, do you still like struggle to get people to contribute, or how do you like how does that work? Was it ever difficult? Is it difficult, or is it now just something that like people want to get involved in?
So it's been almost 7 years now. We do receive a lot of positive feedback. We do receive a lot of negative feedback too. I'll be very candid. Um, but there are a lot of people out there who are willing to help in the metropolitan cities, in the bigger cities. They understand the pain. I think if people in India empathize and they understand. And our message is that for the less fortunate, it is not the lack of clothing that kills. It is. My point was. It is not the winter that kills, it's not the cold that kills. It's the lack of clothing in winter that kills.
Yeah.
So yeah, so our message is always that, and we unfortunately we're in a place where people believe in us now, and they see our work. A lot of companies, well recognized companies, corporates have started working with us. We've had the opportunity of serving a lot of good ones, and we receive about 25,000 inquiries every month for people across India, and from people who live abroad too. And these are Indians who live abroad. There are companies from Europe, from Bangladesh. These are companies who want to contribute to the cause. So the whole idea is that we want to reduce the textile wastage. and generate more employment opportunities for the rural. At the same time, we are able to redistribute the fabric that is actually there in the houses of people. They're not dumping them, and for the fact that fashion industry is the second most polluting industry in the world, and it's going unnoticed. So that's the sort of vision that we have.
Yeah, it's great to see that you had that vision like 7 years ago, because like sustainability and sustainable fashion
No,
is
honest, I'll
so
be very honest, we did not have that vision 7 years ago.
okay.
We, yeah, as you keep moving, as you keep scaling, your
Yeah,
vision keeps changing. And, we were very young. We did not know what we were
true.
doing, honestly. We were
Yeah,
basically more of a hobby back then.
yeah,
And we did not know that the idea was so powerful. So we did not have that vision back then. Only when you understand the market economics and people actually like and they believe in you is when you actually start thinking big.
yeah.
Um, and I've met a lot of people. They say they from day one they say that this is going to be our idea and this is what we're going to do. And I honestly just smirk and say no. Your thoughts are going to change eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think I understand what you mean, that you're so like when you're starting out, you're so, I guess, focused on what you want to get started, but that's never what happens towards like the end or in the entire process. I guess it's like a whole learning journey, and that's something that excites majority of people to be an entrepreneur and to see how it like how your business or how your idea grows.
Right.
Um, in terms of like you mentioned that you sometimes even get like negative feedback. What does that sound like? Because like to me, in such a space that doesn't set well. Like why would people be negative towards something? Um, A, like a non-profit, and B, something that's helping the poor.
On a very macro level, uh, you have critics everywhere. So people uh, who've been into the space, people, probably donors who don't like your process, our process, the way we, from picking up the clothes from somebody's place, getting them to our warehouse, and then further redistributing it. Uh, Everybody has opinions, right? So you might say Facebook is a very stupid thing, but I might say that Facebook as a medium has made me more powerful.
Yeah,
You might say social media is very distracting, and it sort of pulls down all my good energies, and I am not able to concentrate. But for a lot of good businesses, it could mean something positive. So critics are always going to be there. There are donors who say that why do you put pictures on Facebook? You're making fun of the poor. But our idea is that we want to let people know where their clothes are going.
yeah,
So you know people are always going to say something or the other. I've heard this phrase from somebody that दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. So just let it.
yeah. Yeah, no. So I guess yeah, people are always gonna talk, and people are always
Yeah,
gonna
whether
have an
you're a
opinion.
non-profit or for-profit, it's always going to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So I saw a hashtag that y'all started called hashtag Post the Hunger Challenge. Could you tell us like what the vision behind that was and how that came about?
That was a short-lived project, and this happened a few years ago. And so our message was that instead of bursting crackers, let's burst hunger. And this was around the time when the ice bucket challenge had come. So we thought let's start this as a movement, and then a lot of people joined it.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And like through all this, all of your achievements, like what is something that you thought that you didn't expect at all, or something that just came about that wasn't either planned for or worked for, or where you had a goal but just like it was completely unexpected?
I think a lot of things. Uh, the major one was Mr. Amitabh Bachchan joining us at a distribution drive, or prior to that, he he and his team calling us to Mumbai for an interview. That was completely unexpected. The national award was unexpected. Mark Zuckerberg was unexpected. A lot of recognitions, a lot of for nowadays we get a lot of calls from organizations who say that okay, this organization gave me a number and we think you guys are doing a great job, and this never used to happen.
Okay.
So getting uh, good companies to work with, and in fact larger organizations, we are a very small organization, I believe, and big brands like H&M calling you and saying, the sustainability head and he wants to work with you and he's recommended your organization. So these are very key and important things for us. And when this happens, you actually get some sort of boost in your own mind. You think that, okay, you're on the right track.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like the unexpected things are they, I guess, bring more happiness or more achievement than the expected. Because I think the expected, the effort that's gone behind or the struggles behind that because you've worked hard for that. So it's more that you deserve it rather than just something that you achieved. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I also saw that you launched Refresh, which is a subsidiary of Clothesbox Foundation, and it focuses on responsible consumption. So can you please like share more about that?
Uh, so basically, the idea behind Refresh and how it happened was a group of ladies came to us who were unemployed at a distribution drive, and they said that if you've got any work, then we'd be happy to sort of join you. And these were wives of daily wagers. And at that point, we had about 40% of. So 40% of what we receive is not fit for donation, for the fact that people give what they want to give and not what we want. And clothes donation is always going to be more of house clearance than charity. So a lot of people who call us, a lot of donors, they say that we're moving houses. So we just, I just want to give the stuff next day because I'm moving out on the third day. So you will never go to Adidas and buy a 3,000 rupees T-shirt to give away to somebody underprivileged. So 40% of what we were receiving is not fit for donation, and we thought that we really need to do something about this. Let's not just put this into the dustbins. And our volumes were increasing and we're trying to scale and stuff. So the whole idea was that we create a responsible consumption pattern, a program where we actually help reduce carbon footprints, and we reduce the textile wastage and then also generate employment.
Okay, just like to get more detail about like how does that work? So what's the process that you're currently working on?
You gave me, let's say you've given me two T-shirts. One is you played Holi in one of the T-shirts, and then one is just fine. So the one that is fine, I'll just give it away as a so somebody who's on the street or in the slums or in the villages. Or the second one, I'll see if so. The policy is that if I, as a volunteer or as an employee, am able to wear it, then I'll put it in that category where it can be redistributed. Otherwise, this is going to go into recycling.
Okay.
So, because your T-shirt was colored or soiled or dirty, we are going to put that into upcycling or recycling, and then we sort of see how we're going to what category is the cloths going to sort of recycle uh, in a way that we could make a blanket out of it, do a lot of patchwork, do blankets.
Okay.
So why I'm saying blankets is because in 2015 we so 2015 is when we started doing a lot of blanket distribution drives. So we had certain budgets every year, and we were at the same time we were receiving a lot of waste fabric, and we thought let's start making these blankets in house instead of purchasing them. So we were hitting multiple birds with one arrow, in the sense that we were giving employment, we were, giving warm blankets, and then we were also recycling and upcycling the waste fabric that we have. So we could make all sorts of utility items with the waste fabric. We could sort of sanitize it first, and then wash it and all of that, and then we will see the kind of fabric it is, and then we'll put it in the recycling or upcycling process accordingly.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Now we are at like the end of the thing, which is the rapid fire. So we have a few questions, and you need to give like answers immediately. So it's like first thought, whatever. I would say like less than 10 seconds. So the first question is, how many all-nighters did you pull when you in like your first year?
Uh, I I need 20 seconds to answer that. I would go at 5:30 in the morning when I was working at American Express. I would work there till 2 or 4 in the evening, and then from I would go back home and reach home at 4:30. From 4:30 to about 11:30, 12, I would do the sort of work at clothes box, and this happened for 2.5 years. And because and when you're running your own organization, there's no day and night, there are no timings, so it's only for the employees. You're working 24 hours. There are days when I don't realize when Sunday is, when weekends are. So a lot of all
Yeah,
nighter.
damn. So did you ever question whether it was worth it?
Sorry,
Did you ever question whether it was worth it?
there was what? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you ever question whether the entire process, or like whether like staying up and things like that, whether it was worth it?
Oh yes, there's a lot of self-doubt in the process. You ask yourself that why am I doing this? And there are days when you just don't do anything. You don't want to do anything, and then you just ask yourself that why. I could have done a 9 to 5 easily, and I get a salary by the 30th of every month. Why do I have to take that pressure? But in the end, I think when you see the positives of it, and you see the sort of achievements and the results, then you see that it's all worth it.
Okay. So what was your emotion when you first fired someone?
When I first fired someone, initially, so I initially I was a very soft person. I could not say no to people, and this happens with a lot of people. And when I first hired somebody, the first feeling was that okay, I think I'm capable of paying somebody else. And then when
Yeah.
I was about to fire him, uh, that person wasn't very productive. Uh, so I think that the same person, I did not have a very hard time firing him. So by that time, I was not the kind of person who would say no
Okay.
to yes to everything. So I think I not feel very guilty when I was firing.
I guess that's like evolution of your like personal growth as well, to see like how things change and how like your business impacts you.
Yes, definitely. There are people work with me. My sister, she can't say no to everything.
Okay.
So she's very soft. So I am in that. I think I'm just 3 or 4 years ahead of her, and I just tell her that be very blunt and be very rude and shrewd, and just
Yeah.
whatever you want to say, you've got to get your work done.
Yeah. What's the weirdest place that you've worked from?
Weirdest what?
Weirdest place you've worked from?
Weirdest place. Um, every trip that I go to, every I have to carry my laptop everywhere. There are no days when you sort of you can skip work.
Yeah.
So I was in Europe. I was in Portugal, and I had lost my new iPhone that I just recently bought. But there was so much pressure back then. I was in my Airbnb. So at the same time, I was filing a police report, and at the same time, you've lost your new iPhone. So
Yeah.
At the same time, I was on my laptop writing emails.
Oh my God. Okay. What's the best business idea you will never use?
That I will
Use.
never use.
Yeah.
The the best idea or the worst idea?
The best business idea that you will never use.
Why would I not use the best business idea?
I mean, maybe because if you don't have the time, or it's short-lived, or the answer could be that I would use the best idea I have.
Um, I don't know if this is the right answer, but politics, if I may say.
Okay. Um, o- what is your biggest weakness?
Strength and weakness happens to be the same. That is family.
Okay. Um, how many enemies did you make in the process?
Oh, I can't count. Whenever I'm about
Uh,
to be rude to somebody, in my mind, I just happen to put that person in that list. Simple as that.
so so which hobby of yours did your organization kill? So not only Clothes Box Foundation, but even me, actually no, just Clothes Box Foundation. I was gonna say like even your job, but that doesn't count. But like because since you're doing it at the same time, I guess like that fails.
Uh, I think playing cricket,
Okay. Um, books or podcasts?
podcasts,
An iPad or a notebook?
iPad.
What's your
No,
favorite
a
social
notebook, a notebook, a notebook,
a
a
notebook?
notebook.
What's your favorite social media platform?
At the moment, Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, yeah. So this concludes our rapid fire, and thank you so much for being a part of Recalling the Adventure. Is there any motivational quote or learning that you would like to leave to the audience?
So there are so many that I like. My sister is going to, in fact, make a wall here, which is going to have the best quotes that I like.
Okay.
Um, the, I'm not very good at remembering quotes, but and it keeps changing, you know.
Yeah.
So
Something
I recently
that's
had a
with you right now.
conversation with somebody, and they were very not happy about somebody else, you know, sort of talking about them and all of that. And I just told them that, you know, opinions from others, if you think you're confident, opinions from others should not matter. If you think you're right, just go ahead with it. The same thing that, you know, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा लोग क्या कहेंगे.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you and speaking with you.
Thank you so much. You take good interviews, especially the rapid fire.
Thank you.